Okay, I'm doing the Simba mask right now for Lion King Jr. And I'm going to record the steps I'm doing to do this. And it's rather a involved process and stuff, so I'm going to try to chat a little bit while I'm doing this. This is my basics right here. This is one of the ones that I use for my reference, and here's another one very similar that you can see. And so this way I know how I want to go with it and the general idea of what I'm working on right here. Okay, and I'll reference this throughout the whole time that I'm working. So you can see what's going on with that. I'm going to switch this over now to where I'm actually working. And we're going to see how this works. And this is going to have to get smaller again. So bear with me for a second. There we go. And so we will see what we will see and how this works. And I don't know, I usually take a few hours and do the sculpting and then go over it with my paper mache stuff. So what I was doing, I did a Mufasa mask and it ended up being a little heavier than I liked it to be. And what I had done was I had used, going off of this basic mask form here. And this is the basic I used for the lionesses and everything else. So let me get you started on that and show you. Oops, what I do and what I did without spilling anything or making any more noises. There we go. And that should help out a bit. Okay. And there. So I started out with a generic picture that I found online, which is this. And blew it up to the size I want it to be, and it's not quite 8 by 10. And then I drew it onto a piece of poster board so it's thicker. And I did cut out where the nose was just so I had a generic idea of where to put the nose. And then I go back, and this is when I cut it out of cardboard. And then this here's cardboard as well that I have that I bent up. So you have the basic nose shape in there, and so I know where everything is. I'm going to be using, you see all these bandages and stuff? This was free, somebody gave it to me for free. So I thought I'd use this to help model some of this, because for Simba, we're going to build up his face higher, and we're going to have this coming up. I should bring this down further. Let me find my scissors for it, because I moved them on me, which was never a good thing. The one I like, I'm not sure where I put, so we'll try the little ones. And you can draw it in there, or you can just cut it in there. And it's coming in to a center point right there for him. So I'm eyeballing it and flipping it over. And we got that going now, and that's helping a bit. Alright, and on this, the cheeks are coming up to about here, and then they go back down, and the nose is up a little bit higher yet. So I have this, and I have maybe I have my masking tape. There it is. And I'm using a lot of masking tape for this. And I lucked out because I found a really good warehouse sale thing. Yeah, I was able to get a bunch of masking tape very cheaply. Otherwise, I wouldn't be using as much masking tape because I'm a cheap person and I don't use more than I need to. But what I have to do is build things up. And to do that, you need to have an underlying thing that's very secure. And to build your sculpture part itself on, and to keep everything in place, the masking tape works really good. So basically, I'm looking at my underlying structure of what I want to do, and then I build up what I need, and then go from there. And since he's going to be wearing this mask for a good half of the play or more, I don't want it to go and be too heavy for him. Thence this really light cotton batting type stuff. And you can see that works a little bit better than just binding it up. So depending on what I'm doing, and Mufasa and Scar and Simba, the adult Simba, are a little more angular. This Simba, he's young, so he's not quite as angular in areas like his cheekbones and his nose as Scar and Mufasa are for me, but on the other hand, he's not as rounded as what the lionesses are. So you can see that's going to be coming up here. So this is coming up here, and then these are going to, this has to come back up higher yet too. So let's just start on a couple things, and let me pull off some masking tape and put it on the side. So when I work, I like to have things to hand, and I don't have to look for it and such. And I've been working on the lion and lioness masks for about 2 weeks now. And he's the last lion I have to do. I have the young Simba and Nalia masks done. I have all the lioness masks done. I have Scar and Mufasa done, and I'll show those later. And this is the basic way of doing this. Now you could do this also using pieces of cardboard. And see that's going up too high. This is where his eyes are going to be. And you can see his cheekbone is up way too high here. So I'm going to have to bring it down further. But you can also see it makes it much easier to bring it down. Here we go. And since this is coming out more, you can see it's going to be coming out past this, which is fine. As long as you look at it and take it into account and such. And I go from there, and you can see that's going to fit in there a bit better. Yeah, these are going to be on their heads or on hats. Or, yeah, they're on some sort of structure that's going to be fixed to their heads. And most of them are like a cardboard hat. And again, depending on what you're doing and stuff, is what you're going to be using. And when you're looking at people having to wear these that aren't used to them, first of all, that there's a lot of movement between dancing and running and fighting and jumping and everything else, you're looking at making it as sturdy as possible so you're not working on that. I like that better. So when you can see as you're working on stuff, things change up for you a little bit. So you can look and see what you like better and then go back and change the other one. And you can see I do like that one better. And it's a little bit sharper like that. Oops, sorry. I have to remember where my camera is, sorry. Anyway, a little sharper that way. I'll make sure that they're opposite each other, and that comes down and it's coming up a little bit more here. So this is bent just a wee bit more. And yeah, that's going to be a little better. I'm going to have to get a little bit more right here to help it do what I want it to do. So there we go. And I can do the same thing on the opposite side. So that's a little sharper and you can see it a little bit better here, where it starts and stops and things. And so this here you don't want a lot, but there's stuff going to go on top of it, so it's not really a big deal. And so this is coming up right there, and I want it to come in right to about here. There we go. And I'll smash those down. And this one here, I want it to look a little sharper and curvier up here too, like that. And, you know, there you go. So the good thing about using, there you go, a camera sometimes is, there we go, I'm going to get this good yet, is that when I look at it on the picture, I can see if it's more even and stuff, and you can see right through there. It does look a little more even than when you're working right on it. And on some of mine, I only took photographs when I was done with them. And I haven't painted them yet. This is just the sculptural part. But by taking the photograph and then looking at the photograph, sometimes you're seeing things that you didn't catch before. So now his nose is going to have to be up further. And like I said, I got Mufasa and Scar's noses are squarer. They're more, Scar's especially is more rectangular. Or Mufasa comes out and in more. And all the lionesses come out and just sort of go in a little bit more like this. Well, Simba's is built up a little bit higher, and it's going to have to go this way a little bit more. And on the end here, and it's not quite a square or rectangle, but it's not rounded like the lionesses are. So again, it's got a bit of a youth feel to it, but it's not really, really rounded a lot. So you can see this here. So you can see how I was folding it. So now you can see that you go and it gets higher on one side than the other. And again, I can pull this up a little bit more. And if I do that on this one, I will probably go and, because you can see it's rounded, it goes like that. So I'm trying to get it to do that. And you see this is flat, so if that's flat, it's not going to round. So what I'm ready to do is take this and roll it up a bit. And move that again, and take that and put it right here and see if it works. Now, a lot of this, I work with students a lot, and a lot of it is, they're like, how do you do that? I said, I don't know how I do that. Sometimes it's holding it and checking it and holding it and then putting it in place and then going back and checking it again. So again, and now you can start seeing, oops, sorry about that, it's more rounded, sticking up higher without going too high here. You still got the thing. But instead of it being flat, you got a rounded feel to it. So to keep that there, I'm going to bring him down here, because this is where his inside of his head is, right there. So there's that. And I'm going to go in a little bit more and go that way with that. So I have a archetype, so now I got it coming down, and I could do it this way, I can do it across again, and I can do all sorts of things, but this is what I'm doing today to see where it's at. And you can see you got that curve coming, and it's starting to come in and up a bit. And now I get to play with this part, which is coming under, and I might be doing that. I might be cutting this too. And I don't want it to come down that far, but I'm thinking it's going to be coming down sort of like this. So almost a rounded to a pointy nose area there, but it needs to come out here a little bit more. So I'm going to take a look at that now. And to do that, I'm going to need a little bit more on either side, because it's not quite wide enough. Maybe I can do this instead. 1, 2, 1, 2, there we go, we got 2 pieces. And instead of doing that, maybe going that way with it. So I just widened it by doubling it. And a lot of this is common sense, looking at your shapes, trying to get them in there correctly. And you see how that wrinkly that is? But if I do that and then put a piece over like that, now I'm starting to get that feel of that nose coming through there, and you can start seeing it doing that too. Let's see if I can do it this way for a bit. So, excuse me. So, and here we go there. You see, and then this is going to be going down like that a little bit more. And this is going to be coming around here, like I tuck it under. So we got that. And this is all of a sudden we're getting all these rounded shapes and edgy shapes and stuff instead of just that one big rectangular piece of a nose in the middle. So let me try that now. So I'll pull you off for a second, and I'm going to tear this in half. And which way did I go? There we go. I have to keep checking the view because I keep forgetting what you can see on the little camera thing, and I'm hoping to get better at this. So for my students, so they can, I don't have to keep showing them the same thing over and over again, because this is tricky, you know? You don't learn this just with once. You know, it's really nice to be able to do it on the TV thing, because then you can go in and do it once, and then the kids can look at it, and they can stop, and then follow it one step at a time if they need to. You know, or anybody else following this too, so that's cool. Anyway, this I don't like there, so I'm going to put that there for a second, and since my fingers aren't going in there, I'm going to see if, and there we go. I can straighten that out just a wee bit, because I like it straighter. See, now I can go like this with it, and if I need to, I can add more to the top as well. Let me see this now. I'm going down like that. I want it rounded and coming down here. Sort of like that. And the same thing over on this side is a little bit rounded and coming down here on that side. And now his goes up, and it's similar to his father's, where it's supposed to be archy and pointy down here. So I'm trying to do that without having to add more to the mask itself, which is a serious pain in the keister if you have to do that. In Fosca, I had to add more to the top part of it, and so he's a little bit more immense than most of the other ones. But the person that's going to be playing Mufasa is a big kid, and so it should work with him proportionately, but it should also go and let's see, there you go. You know, he should be a big character. He's the father. He's supposed to be the inside of everything and stuff, so. And there you go. Something like that. And again, I get to tear up my stuff here, and I want that to go down so it's got that graduated edge to it, and then that can go in there, and then this can go in like this. You see, so now you can sort of get the better idea of sideways. There you go. So you got where the eyes are coming in, and then it comes out here, comes here, and then down here, and then I have working to do down there. So that's coming along pretty good. This is I did 6 lionesses. I did 2, you know, like the young Simba and Nyla masks. So those are little ones that they get to wear as children-ish type things. And then I did Scar, Mufasa, and so Simba's my last one to do. Let's see, that's even. Yeah, it's looking pretty even. Maybe over here a little bit more. So that's my last lion mask to do. After this, I have the hyenas and Rafiki. And one of my students, she was 8th grade last year, she's 9th grade this year, and she's going to be doing, Sazu is what I have to do. She's doing Rafiki. So she's doing really cool. So just a second, please. I'm recording stuff, so I would rather